Hi, I'm Ruthie, owner of Defy the Status Quo, and you're listening to an episode of the Defiant Business Podcast, your Monday through Friday 10-minute shot of business knowledge. So, today, what we're going to go over is why you get so many no's. Yes, I had a theatrical pause there for effect. But why do you get so many no's? You know that there is a demand for your services. You know that there's maybe not your services, but the industry in which your services reside. And you know that people use them. You know, maybe you're a web design company, maybe you're a business consulting firm, perhaps you offer supply chain management services or supply chain consulting. Uh, it could be anything almost, but you know that there's a need out there for it. There are other companies that are successful at it. Why are you getting so many no's? So for service and consulting firms, or, solo practitioners or freelancers, you'll always get more no's than you get yeses, which is fine, right? For the most part, depending on how your business is growing, you're just trying to get a few more clients than you had before, or you're trying to trade out lower paying clients for higher paying clients. So that's totally fine. But the problem is how long it takes you to get to know. So you're always, like I said, you're always going to have more no's than you have yeses. That's fine. What's the problem is how long it takes for you to get to that no. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. You tell me if they sound familiar in the comments. Tell me in the comments if they sound familiar. You come across a great job listing, a LinkedIn post, somebody asking for your services, your company's services, anywhere. You're online, you find it and you respond and they don't answer or they reject your proposal. Now, this typically happens because you haven't addressed everything in the proposal. So if they ask for someone who can offer a full content offering, or, they mention SEO, but they really focused on video, or they talk about SEO, but they want somebody who can also do their social media. If you only address one part of what they're asking for, they're probably going to reject you. What you need to do when you're responding is making sure that you are addressing every aspect of the proposal. Maybe you can partner with somebody, or don't ignore that part of the proposal, but say, hey, you're probably not going to find somebody who's great at all of these things, or who can efficiently handle all of these things. You should consider building a team. At least you present an alternative solution. However, I will say that the next scenario is probably one of the most likely reasons you're getting so many no's and why it's so painful. Those no's are painful because let's say someone refers a new business prospect to you and you get on a call or you meet in person, which takes up even more time. And everyone's really excited and you draft a proposal and you're like, okay, you agonize over it. It takes you a few hours to do. And then you send it and you waiting, still waiting. And it just doesn't come. They don't answer you. They ghost you, right? That's what we call it, ghosting. Or they do eventually tell you no. What these situations typically have in common, even if you're responding to someone asking for services, through LinkedIn or somewhere else, it's that you didn't qualify them early. You did not qualify them early. Let's go back over. Okay, so, either way you're drafting a proposal, right? But that can take a few hours if you don't have a template that you're working from, or if you don't have like set packages for your services. So for a lot of consulting firms or a lot of service firms, you develop unique solutions for each client. So that requires unique proposals for the most part. And so you have that time that it takes right there. You've done some research on the client, and that took up some time. The phone call or the meeting in person, that took up a lot of time if you met in person. And so you're using up all of this time, and then you get to the no. By not qualifying that prospect early, you've invested serious man hours or woman hours, people hours, and resources just to arrive at a no. And oftentimes it'll be the budget conversation that people are afraid to have, which is understandable. It can be intimidating, but it saves everyone time. If you go and have a phone call, you do a video call, you meet in person, that's time that the prospective client took as well. So you're saving them time by getting some of the logistics out of the way. Hey, so, I know we haven't discussed your project yet. Have you had a chance to review my services page that lists, a lot of my services and where some of our pricing starts? If all of that sounds good to you, or if that's, similar to what you want, let's go ahead and schedule that phone call. So you're saving everyone time by qualifying early, especially with one of the most common pain points, which is price. It's not that you're not going to get no's. That's not it. You're just having so many conversations that end in no. And you're having long conversations that end in no. So if it's going to be no, you need to arrive at that no as early as possible. You want to arrive at that no preferably before you have a discovery call. You need to qualify them early. And so in my case, I've got a services page where I have our starting prices at for many, or starting rates for common projects that are often asked of us here at Defy the Status Quo. And what that helps do, it helps set customer expectations or client expectations. But what it also does is it kind of gets rid of those tire kickers. They were like, oh, I wanted to pay $25 for a blog post that was, 1,500 words. Well, when they go on and see my starting prices, they realize that they've got the wrong one. They've got the wrong one when they come looking at my website for $25 blog posts. And that saves you a lot of time as the client. And you're also dealing with customers who may be uneducated about what it takes and therefore what it costs to actually get these things done. You always want to speak from a point of value. You always do, but you can't forget that you're going to run into a lot of people who just don't know. Not only are they unsure about what they want, they may be unsure about the value of what it is that you do as well. So you're going to get no's. The goal is to get those no's as quickly as possible so that way you can spend more quality time on the real potential yeses. Okay? That's been an episode of the Defiant Business Podcast. And I'm your host, Ruthie. Please leave us a comment or a review wherever it is that you listened or watched this episode, and I will see you next time.